Hey, citizens for McDonough, it's Montina Young Fraiser, your neighbor here, and I decided to upload the city council meetings to YouTube. It's just more convenient. You can watch it from your phone, your tablet. You can even watch it on TV. You have closed captions available anywhere, anytime, and it's just a more convenient way to stay informed, engaged, and connected to our community. So here it is.
I'd like to thank you all for joining us on this evening. Today is May 1st, 2025. The hour is 6:00 p.m. And we would like to thank those of you who are here as well as those who are joining us virtually on this evening. Today is the National Day of Prayer, and we continue to be mindful of our nation, the world, our states, our counties, our cities, and we continue to speak words of encouragement and grace and honor and all of the things that make us great as a community. And most of all, we continue to admonish one another to love. So thank you again for being here. I'm going to officially call this meeting to order, and I will ask our city clerk, Christy Taylor, if she will lead us in a roll call.
Mayor Vincent,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Varner, Councilmember Burt,
Present.
Councilmember Payton, Councilmember Reeves, Councilmember Stewart, Councilmember Thomas.
Here.
Mayor, we do have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I would like to now ask our senior, our dean of this council, if he would lead us in prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will ask Councilmember Payton if he will lead us in that action.
As I look to my right, what a beautiful picture. A beautiful, beautiful picture. When you look around and look at the world today, prayer is very, very important. Because it means a lot. Because this week, what I've been through, right here in McDonough, Henry County, 15-year-old young man took his life. And so it's important. Every day is important. So let us pray. Oh Lord our God, we come to say thank you for your grace. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you, Lord, for being so good and so just to us. We thank you for each employee and all our citizens are here tonight. We ask your blessing to be upon them. We ask you to be on this city. Continue to bless us in ways that we never knew blessed before. Bless this nation. Bless this world, Father. It is in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Stewart. I think instead of calling you Dean, I might call you Deacon. We appreciate you and all of the service that you have brought this great city of McDonough. Would one of you please give me a motion for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilmember Burt and a second by Councilmember Stewart. Please vote.
Six in favor.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, would you please sound our consent agenda?
Technology Service has submitted a request for approval to pay the Versaterm annual maintenance invoice for the police department's body cameras, dash cameras, and interview room cameras in the amount of $82,032.24. The funding source is identified as line item 100-5.1535.52.1301.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. If there are no questions, may I please have a motion followed by a second?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Stewart and a second by Councilmember Thomas. Please vote.
6 in favor.
Thank you so much. Are there any public comments on this evening? Thank you, Chief Noble. Y'all holding down that right side real good. All right. Our first citizen is Miss Geraldine Gardner. Please come forward. Yes, ma'am. We've got several, are all of you signed up for this evening? Because I'll just remove, okay. All right.
Thank you for having me, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Geraldine Gardner. I'm a citizen of the city of McDonough as well as I work here. And we're coming here today because of pickleball. And I would like for Mr. Ray to talk about it.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Vincent.
It's good to see you again, sir.
Thank you. How much time do I have?
How much time do you need? Because
Well-
you don't have to convince us of pickleball. I'm just honoring your presence on this
Okay.
evening. We do have some restrictions, as I've shared before, but please proceed.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I think we can do it under 5 minutes. My name is Ray Sims. I've been in the pickleball ever since 2016. I'm a USA ambassador for pickleball. Also, I'm a member of the PPR, which is Professional Pickleball Registry. The reason I'm here is we look throughout the city and we look throughout the county. And when we look at pickleball and we look at the surrounding area, we just not keeping up with the areas around us as far as pickleball goes. We're here today because mainly we want to talk a little bit about Richard Craig. Richard Craig is a nice facility, but I think it could use a little bit of tender loving care. We have quite a few pickleball players participating in tournaments, but what happened is when they participate, they have to go outside of the county, and we don't have anybody coming into the county to play pickleball because we don't have a facility that's up to standard to play pickleball. So that's one of the reasons why we're here, because actually with the tournaments, it brings in quite a bit of revenue. You know, say if we have people coming in to play tournaments at Richard Craig, you know, you have they're gonna have to stay 2 or 3 nights. They're gonna have to buy gas and food and etc. So that's the main reason why we're here. But if we could get Richard Craig up and running, I think it'll be a plus for Henry County. And actually, when you talk about USA Pickleball, we have the resources to where if you have someone that we can talk to and maybe form a team, then, you know, we could probably put the package together. So with that being said, then that's about where we are.
Thank you, Mr. Sims.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Ella Thompson, and I represent the pickleball players here in McDonough. And I just want you all to know that we may be losing our leader here at City Hall, but the community is still interested in supporting pickleball, and we would like to continue to have committees to study and to do things to bring pickleball here in McDonough.
Yes, ma'am. How much do you want to hear from me? I can be very quick. The problem is not pickleball, whether or not we support this as a mayor and council, because we do. We fully support pickleball. We are in a service delivery strategy with Henry County government, which means that if it is an active park, which pickleball involves sports, then those parks are covered, the maintenance and all of those things are covered by that service delivery strategy under Henry County. If it is a passive park, then the city of McDonough has the responsibility of maintenance, improvement, etc. There have been some times at Richard Craig Park that citizens have expressed concerns. We've gone over and redone the floors, redone the bathrooms, just kind of bypassed the system to get those things done. Recently, this council approved a master parks plan. That plan is supposed to be rolling out in terms of the work around it. But we keep hearing this. This keeps this keeps resurfacing. So could you please, all three of you, because I only have Geraldine's email information, could you write down on a piece of paper your name, your email address, and give that to our clerk? And we will set up a meeting specifically to discuss pickleball. We do not disagree. We want pickleball here in the city. It is a major undertaking because Richard Craig is maintained by Henry County. So we might have to take a different approach as it relates to this, but all of that starts with a conversation. So we don't want you to think that we're just putting you off. We want to do something forward thinking. So if we could start there, then I'll bring parts of our team together and we can have a conversation regarding this issue.
Okay.
Okay.
So we are going to get pickleball courts in McDonough, safe, dedicated pickleball courts for the players here in McDonough.
So we have plans in McDonough to have pickleball courts. We have been talking about this for years, but what I mentioned is that the pickleball courts currently are at Richard Craig Park, and that park is governed by a different entity based on that service delivery strategy. But let's talk, let's kind of iron this out. I'd like to know who you've been talking to, what those conversations have been like, and let's see what kind of magic we can make, if y'all are in agreement with that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we are.
okay. All
Thank
right,
you.
Miss Christie, she's ready for you, so thank you. You're all very welcome. Thank you very much. Mr. Preston Diggs. And it's wonderful to see you. I'm glad that your healing has set in and you're here with us.
Well, I appreciate it, and I am getting along and getting around a little bit better than I was a couple of months ago. I thought I was at the bottom of the list of who you want to hear today, but anyway, my concern is, and you folks, it's a dead horse that's being beat, I guess, since the approval of the Dollar General Market on Avalon Parkway. One is, I was under the impression that the sign on the building itself was going to be on the side of the building, not on the front of the building. That's what my understanding was. Then today, they put up a sign, and to be, I want to be diplomatic with it, it's ugly. It's on Avalon Parkway. Where you're driving along, you can see it or whatever, and it's just doesn't belong as far as the aesthetics, as far as the neighborhood is concerned. Plus, the size of the sign that they have on the building, that's large enough for people to see that that's what the building is. So why would you want to put another sign on Avalon Parkway itself? The other thing is, my understanding is that the contractors or the owners of the business themselves, they built two entrances. Well, they didn't build two entrances. They added an additional entrance on Hawthorne, excuse me, which was supposedly going to be used for the vendors and so forth to actually access the lot in which the building is on, basically. And rather than using that access point, they're driving actually into the neighborhood and then turning around and then coming back on the other side on, I can't think of the name, the main street that comes into our neighborhood. But anyway, they come back and they use the existing one that was there prior rather than the one that they built solely for that particular purpose, basically. And the other thing is, excuse me, I was informed that by, I won't say exactly whom, but from someone with this government body that stated that it was not going to be built, period. But then it was built. Our HOA sent out letters to each one of us telling us that it wasn't going to be built, and within a 2-3 week period, they started construction on it. So I don't know, nothing was ever disseminated to the community and so forth and the residents to let them know why it was built, rather than they contradicted themselves as far as when they sent the letter out to us. The other thing is, calling on Chief Noble in regards to this, I'm not sure if he can do anything too much about it, but the speeding in the neighborhood has gotten to be ridiculous. Just yesterday, a little kid was out playing in the neighborhood, and the ball went out in the street, of course, and the child, they didn't think, they just ran after the ball. And it was a car coming and it was speeding, and they had to slam on the brakes to keep from hitting this child, basically. So we were promised that they were going to put up signs, more signs, speeding signs and so forth in the neighborhood several months ago, but that hasn't occurred yet. So I was just curious about the status for that, basically. And I mentioned it to Mr. Burke a little earlier about an education course for social media for senior citizens. Senior citizens, we're not dialed in into all of the intricacies of social media or whatever. We don't basically, in a lot of instances, we don't understand it, or we just don't care that much about it. But it seems like society basically, that's the functioning aspect of society right now, but it's from a myopic group of the population that's forcing it on people with the assumption that everyone understands that process. We don't understand the process, basically. And if there's something that the city could do in regards to an educational program for senior citizens, basically, that would be grateful. I've talked to a person at the Senior Citizens Center, and they don't have a class, and they don't have foresee in the future that they would be offering anything there. So maybe possibly to appropriate some type of budget for the for senior citizens so they could take the classes. Doesn't necessarily have to be at the Senior Citizens Center, but it would be great if they could. Other than that, I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Were you wanting answers now, or do you want me to email you?
Oh, you can tell them right now. That'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay, so as it relates to the social media, my recommendation was going to be the phenomenal senior center that we have that serves this particular area, but you've indicated to me that they don't have these classes. So we've got some experts internally, and we'll look around at what we might be able to do on a Saturday or one day during the week. So I will follow up on that. I want to more importantly respond to the issue regarding Dollar General. In these other areas, I'll get with the chief about the signage and the other folks that I need to get with, and I'll just send you out an email, but I need for you to give the clerk your email, because,
Okay.
oh, all right, because it's not on here.
Okay.
As mayor
Right.
of this city, I take responsibility for everything that goes wrong.
Well, we don't want
Okay,
to-
no, I'm just saying, I own that. That is why the people elected me. And so there was a community meeting, and in that community meeting, we eagerly shared the fact that the city of McDonough had purchased some property and that we would be putting a police station on that property. So as a result, and it is along Avalon Parkway, as a result of that conversation and some more information that was shared, there was a misunderstanding and a miscommunication about the specific location.
Okay.
What was understood was that the location was going to be where the Dollar General is. So I wrote a letter and I sent it out to several individuals, some of which were homeowner association individuals, explaining what had taken place And so I'm sorry that you didn't get that communication, but it was sent out to the community. That's one thing. The other thing with the speeding and a couple of other issues that are going on, I will tell you that we put more restrictions on this Dollar General than any Dollar General, I believe, in the state of Georgia.
Okay.
I have never seen, in all of the years that I've been sitting on this dais as mayor and as council member, anybody who was as willing to make the adjustments that were made to make sure that this was not like a lot of the other stores that have been erected. There are flock cameras and security cameras. Those flock cameras will measure the traffic, people who are coming in and record some of that. I don't know whether or not they've been put in yet, but that's one of the plans that we've had, so that should help with the issue of speeding. I'll be getting with Public Works Director about the signage that you mentioned. And in terms of the trucks and the access to the facility, where the trucks are concerned, they are supposed to come from that side of the building, not from the main entrance. And so what I can say with having cobblestone parking spaces, a facade that matches the cottages of Avalon, that color brick is not a brick that is standard for a Dollar General. The signage, when they brought the plans in, that is the plans that we all looked at. So everything that is up there, we know that we have been especially monitoring because of the community's concern about what was being put up. So our community development department, building officials, in fact, they were out there meeting with the HOA president as recent as the earlier part of this week, Monday. Tuesday. Okay, thank you. And I know my council member was there as well. So I'm going to email you. I want you to send back to me any concerns that I have not addressed, but I can tell you that that building is a priority for us. We're making sure that they did what they said they were going to do in this meeting, and that's the most that I can tell you. If we had a way in which to not build, which is what the community wanted, but because of the zoning that was already approved in the early 2000s, we were very limited to what we could do. But we are extremely happy about the restrictions that the builder, the developer, agreed to put on that building. And so it is my hope that this will be one of the premier Dollar Generals within the state of Georgia. In terms of the signage, we have some of the most strictest signage rules.
Well, I just feel it's overkill since you have the huge sign to begin with on the building. Why is it necessary to put another one on?
So I'm right. I wrote that down because I want to know what the code says, and I'll send you the code. But they should have built in accordance to the code as it relates to the signage.
Well, I understand exactly what occurred and so forth. The building was going to be built, but then again, it was etched in my mind it's going to be built. And so when it came back that they weren't going to build it, the message that was, sent from that.
And again,
I understand
that I did all that I could do.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes.
I understand. Yes. And as far as the traffic is concerned, the traffic on Avalon Parkway, that's a separate issue as opposed to what.
Yes, but we'll address all those other issues that you mentioned.
With the traffic within the neighborhood.
We'll address that with the police chief. So give Christy your email. I'll itemize all of these things, give you some answers. You give me feedback. because we're solution-oriented, and that will be our goal to address the concerns. And I'll copy the HOA president as well, so that she is aware of what these concerns are. But we certainly thank you for being here and sharing these items with us. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh, you have a pen?
Mr. Morrell McCrary, our Main Street Director,
Energy just exudes.
our Henry County Chamber of
Chair.
Commerce Chair.
There you go. Any other hats you want me to put on? I am a community servant.
Our
Let's just
community
start there.
servant.
I'll just start with that. I want to open up and say thank you guys for what you do. Mayor, Council, it is by far noticeable the work you put into the community, and I'll applaud you for that. Georgia Cities Week last week, I know it's on the agenda. Hats off. It was amazing. It was a good time. You guys did a lot of good work last week. You guys too over here. A lot of good work went into that. Thank you. I want to approach you right now on behalf of Main Street to say, when we had our retreat, we as Main Street got together and said, you know, we need to talk about this Keenan sign agreement thing. We expressed that, you know, there was not a lot of people on board with that idea and concept, and we wanted to be officially on the record as stating that we are not in support of the digital signage that was mentioned. Outside of that, my mom told me you always got to use that sandwich method. Deliver the good, deliver the meat, and then close it with something nice to eat for dessert. The dessert. May 16th, guys, we are closing and opening the square back up, closing this renovation project, opening it back up for this ribbon cutting, and I can't wait for that. So thank you guys for putting in the work to get that garden project done. I can't wait. Like, I'm so excited. I look forward to being there and being a part of this history for McDonough. So thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. We are looking forward to the opening of the bespoke garden as well. Just driving by, looking through the fence.
You just look through the fence now.
It looks absolutely phenomenal. There are so many great things that are happening in the city. So thank you for lifting that up. I do want to lightly touch the Keenan sign agreement and to let you know that we heard you all.
Okay.
Because the original discussion was about gateways and areas downtown as well. Where we have landed is with having digital signage in front of our facilities and our parks. So it does not impact Main Street. It does not impact the downtown district, but it makes reference to those areas where we constantly get feedback. How are these things happening and we don't know about it? We're using newsletters, we're using social media, we're sometimes sending things out in water bills, but the whole city is not on the same water system. We even take newsletters to different institutions to make sure that people know what's going on, but that word is not getting out there. I know you are a marketing person. Mm-hmm. If you've got some other ideas, I welcome you to come in and share those with us. But our goal is citizen engagement, and this seemed to be low-hanging fruit when we were specifically talking about our buildings and not about the entire city and gateways and all of that. So maybe that information was not shared.
Understood. No, we were under the impression they were going up pretty much everywhere.
No, sir, no. Because remember, our goal is to maintain the historic feel of this city. That is our goal. And it's in our vision and mission as well.
Excellent.
Okay.
Let's not lose sight of that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Miss Ella, I got you, right? Okay, all right. Did I miss anybody? Yes, sir, please. What is your name, sir? I didn't get Come on down. Did you bring dinner for us? Oh my, not beignets. And I was just kidding.
I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to speak because I didn't get a chance to sign up. This lovely young lady over here running for office, she invited me over here. I met her the other day in the store. This is my very first time in 18 years I've been here in the city of McDonough. I got a proclamation from the city with previous mayor, Billy Copeland, for doing my donations for St. Jude and Shriners Hospital and for being a crime watch on my street. I ever want to just say thanks to the mayor, thank you to all the city council, the elected officials that are running for office, and those who are in charge. Mayor Noble, Mayor Hunter, and all this government.
All right, mayors.
Everybody. We want to say,
Let me
man,
give you some of y'all this responsibility.
we just want to let the police chief know we're thankful for all the work that they're doing, and we'd like to ask that they have an increase in their pay so they get some more qualified officers to do a great job in the city of McDonough and open up these roadways so they can get through when they have emergencies so they don't be stopped up by stupid people that don't know you're supposed to pull over or move out the way when the police or somebody,
Yes,
firefighters are coming through, because we need them through here to do their jobs.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I hope you will hang around because that's one of the things that we're going to talk about is the pay and classification study that we went through and approved in, Ms. Hill? What date?
November the 18th.
No, November 18th. So we recognize that we have the finest
Yes, ma'am.
in Henry County
Yes, ma'am.
that work here for the city of McDonough. And we are trying to compensate them accordingly.
Yeah, I feel that way because I've been involved with the police chief and his officers for over the years that I've been here. My brother was a police officer in New Orleans. He died in line of duty. He tried to save a woman, jumped into the Mississippi River. They never found him. 1988, February 16th, Officer Andre Keith Williams. And he died 2 days before his 24th birthday. I was able to get a letter from President Obama after writing 4 presidents, 28 years.
Wow.
But praise God, I got that. Thank you, Jesus. The other issue I had was Avalon Park. I'm over there every Saturday. So I do donations over there for St. Jude and Shriners Hospital, as I stated. This is what I do. I go and give the money, all the money to those kids. I can't go out like I used to because I'm disabled. I'm a senior citizen. So I go out there and do donations.
Stop telling stories.
Oh.
No, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
It is what it is. Praise God, still look great. However, there's no lighting over there where the kids play on the playground, because I notice at 8 o'clock, it turns dark and they still have kids out there playing, and I tell their parents to be careful, look around, pay attention, don't be out there too late because anybody can come out the woods or anything could happen, because sometimes they have people sleeping in those woods. And I wouldn't want nothing to happen to anyone, so make sure they have lights on that playground, at least that playground area, and they have some cameras out there because it's very dangerous. They should have a substation over there, just like they have the fire department should have a police station over there too, because there's nobody around. There's nobody around. I have called the police over there several times for different stuff, and then they do the donuts. Come out there and do donuts. Nobody's out there. I called Henry County, and then Henry County sent it over to McDonough. Nobody came out there. By the time y'all came out there, they was gone. So I mean, I'm vigilant. I do look out to see what's going on. The other thing is, I'm on Regency Park Drive. Please cut these people loose. Let them go and do their jobs. They have squatters that was on my street for 8 months. I have PTSD behind this still today, Miss Mayor. These people were black, white, whoever they were in there, about 15 of them. They squatted this house for 8 months. They were selling drugs out of this house, fentanyl and meth. They was in and out of that house. Nobody can put them out. I was the only one vigilant. I sent the chief and them all the pictures of what they were doing, urinating in front of the place, selling drugs. They had people coming out of the penitentiary, coming right to that place. They couldn't do nothing about these people to get them out of their house. They was taking the big carts from the Dollar Tree, Dollar General, whatever it is around the corner from my house, taking the carts at 5 o'clock in the morning, bring them to the residence, put them inside the garage, and taking all the stuff off of them. I've called the police. The police came out there and stopped them with those cars going, bring them back over there and let them go. I said, what happened? I just called them because this is totally ridiculous. This was a drug house. It was totally ridiculous. They shouldn't have been able to take it over. Whenever they have people that's in there squatting in these houses, they should be able to do their jobs, get them out of there immediately. I mean, this shouldn't be happening.
So let's
Yes.
do this.
And I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I want to first of all acknowledge your brother. Thank you for lifting up
Thank you, ma'am.
his name tonight.
Thank you.
We thank him for his
Praise God.
service. So the second thing that I'd like to say is please fill out this paperwork.
Yes, ma'am, I
Give it
will.
to the clerk with your
Okay.
email address so we can follow up. Chief, do you know where he's talking about? Yes, ma'am. Okay, let's have some discussions about that. City administrator, is that one of the areas that's on our list for lights? I know we just did a comprehensive light study with Georgia Power. So is that one of the areas?
Regency area is,
No,
but Avalon Park,
Avalon Park.
we can address lighting at the playground.
Okay, can you write that down?
Already have it, yes, ma'am.
You already have it, okay, see? All
Thank
right.
you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for giving me the time to talk. Yeah, one more thing. Please cut the taxes down on the seniors and the disabled because the taxes are too high,
Do
ma'am.
you know what our millage rate is?
I have no idea. I know
It's
the taxes are high.
3.033. We have the lowest tax base
Well, praise
in
God.
all of
I'm
Henry
just trying to
County.
speak up while I have a chance. Praise God. That goes for all
Thank you.
the seniors.
Thank you so much, okay.
Make sure that my name is written down.
Okay, come on now, because we got a whole meeting. Yes, sir. I appreciate it. So thank you. If you need to talk to me more, then let's do that. Okay, that brings us down to our next item on the agenda,
Put your contact information.
which is proclamation and resolutions. And I do not see that the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity is here on this evening. Okay, so we will make sure that we reach out to them. And that brings us to kind of the stars of the evening, the Public Safety Department, Chief Noble.
Of course, thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm honored for this opportunity tonight to speak. Good afternoon, Mayor Vincent, City Council. We are here tonight to present and show recognition to these amazing officers who have committed themselves and their families to the City of McDonough Police Department and the City of McDonough. These officers go above and beyond in their daily performance. Each of these officers demonstrate precisely why they should be honored. These awards are not for a one-time event, but for their 10 years of service to keep McDonough a safe place to live for our citizens and for having a great quality of life. This night belongs to them. All officers have a bit of a hero attached to their actions. Being a hero does not mean saving a life. Law enforcement is about protecting and serving. Law enforcement is each 911 call for service by an officer is not just another call. It is another human being reaching out for help or assistance in the form of a professional response. And these officers do just that. It could be giving advice to help solve a family problem that those closest fail to see. It could be finding a missing child or an elderly parent, thus easing a family's worst fears. It could be assisting a neighborhood in a safety program, or it can be a voice in a criminal court proceeding. These officers demonstrate this each workday. This is the making of a hero. Hold for a second. Let me get my thoughts here. That's a little touching for me.
I see it.
These are your everyday officers here in this fair city of McDonough, Georgia. First, I would like to introduce Jacob Kaufman. Lieutenant Kaufman has served in various positions within the police department. Lieutenant Kaufman has served as a patrol officer, patrol corporal, patrol sergeant, and now watch commander, assigned to the Uniform Patrol Division as a lieutenant. Lieutenant Kaufman was hired on February the 25th, 2015. Next is Jermaine Hicks. Detective Hicks has also served in various positions within the police department. Detective Hicks has served as a patrol officer, a special agent assigned to the Flint Circuit Task Force, and now assigned to the Criminal Investigations Division as an investigator. Detective Hicks was hired on February the 25th, 2015. And lastly is Brandon Paul. Sergeant Paul has served in various positions within the police department. Sergeant Paul has served as a patrol officer, patrol corporal, patrol sergeant, and now supervises the crime suppression unit as a sergeant. Sergeant Paul was hired on March the 23rd, 2015. Mayor Vincent and City Council, I present to you 10-year serving employees.
Did anyone on the council want to say anything?
Congratulations.
I just want to say thank you for choosing McDonough, and thank you for being a part of our family. We appreciate the work that you do every single day and the fact that you show up with your A game. And I want to thank all the family members that I see out there as well. We appreciate you allowing your loved one to work with us. Blessings and safety to you all, and just continue the good fight of faith, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to say something too. Chief, and especially Sergeant Paul, I had the pleasure of speaking to a group of young men with these two. And I just want you all to know that the work you guys do in the community to help as far as serving and protecting, alongside the fact that you are tangible to the people, that they know you, they see you, they recognize you, and the fact that you're making yourselves available like that to them just to speak to some youth so they know who you are and what you do speaks volumes. So it's more than just you guys, out there on the streets serving and protecting, but the fact that you're tangible to the people is awesome. So I commend you for that as well.
Anyone else?
I'd just like to say thank you for your service. Thank you for your service, and we really appreciate, you showing your faces and showing up on time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your service. I have something that I'd like to address to you all. First of all, I want to thank you all so much for your 10 years of service being a police officer. It reminds me of being in the military, laying your lives out on the line for all of us. And we just thank you all so very much for your service and for your sacrifice, and for the families that have come, that are here to support you all as well. Thank you all so much.
The work that you do speak for you volume every day. Because when I come up Central Street, you fellas, you waving, that means a lot. When you go by the park, you'll make sure everything's okay. And when you're even in the neighborhoods, the work that you do speak for you daily. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Y'all, let's give another round of applause. All right, that brings us to item 10 and 11, and Ms. Hill, thank you.
You can move that out of your way. You can just pick it up and move it out of your way. You want it to show up on that screen?
I was just trying to see which one was going
Well, thank
first,
you.
but I
No,
got it.
yes, sorry. No, you should be, yeah, the Curalink.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I want to just stand before you. The first item, item number 10 that I'm going to speak about real quickly, we are just asking you to consider authorizing the signing of an agreement between our current EAP provider, and EAP is our Employee Assistance Program, and the new provider, so to speak. They are, our current provider has been purchased by a new provider, and so we're not entering into a new contract, but they're just going to continue the service throughout our contract, and then, of course, when we get to the time where we need to sign a new contract, then we will visit that. But this is just an agreement to continue the service. And so what it looks like for us is that there'll really be no break in service, no change in services. Our representative that we've been doing business with for almost about 10 years now will be the same person. So pretty much a seamless process, and we just need to get this agreement signed for that transaction.
All right, you've heard Ms. Hill. I just need a motion authorizing the mayor to sign this agreement, and a second, please.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Burt, a second by Councilmember Stewart. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, please vote.
Councilmember Payton, your light is not on my side. If it won't, you can raise your hand. This is why we're getting a new voting system. 6 in favor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are now on item 11.
Okay, thank you. So, you can get it up on the screen?
It takes us.
Awesome. So while it's getting up on the screen, I just wanted to echo everyone, and I think most of our honorees, all of our honorees left out, but definitely let them know, Chief, how much we appreciate what they do, and in Human Resources enjoy serving them. Our highly valued police officers. Okay, so tonight, we just wanted to come before you briefly and just give you an update on our classification and compensation study appeals update. And so I'll explain that to you. Where am I supposed to be? Okay, got it. So the background or the recap, as the mayor has already spoke about earlier, that we did have a major achievement of completing our pay and classification study, where our classification and compensation study, and this was adopted by you all November 11, 2024. So we wanted to just come before you now and just give you some updates on our appeals process. Some highlights, just to kind of put it on your mind to know what we accomplished again, was that we aligned with competitive rates for good governance principles, fair and equitable. That was one of our main missions, is to research in the market and make sure that we had competitive rates here in the city of McDonough as we continue to attract and retain talent. We implemented the hybrid approach, and that consists of, if you all remember, looking at employees' time with the city, as well as their time in their respective roles, and there was a formula there that gave a certain percentage of increase based on what the market data returned. But everyone received some type of monetary increase, and the minimum wage was established here in the city of McDonough for $18 an hour, and I love to brag that we have a higher minimum wage than the largest city, Atlanta. We're about 50 cents more than the city of Atlanta, so that's always a good bragging opportunity. Some positions required reassignment, and our pay adjustments were taken into effect for the December 18th date, and employees received that on a January 3rd paycheck this year. After the comp study was adopted, the new pay plan was adopted, employee salaries calculated, we communicated to our employees their new salary titles and pay grades. And upon this happening, which is very common with a classification and compensation study, is that we received some feedback from employees, which pushed us over into the appeals process to ensure that all of our employees were heard. And so as the appeals process was initiated, we moved with the purpose of correcting any inaccuracies, ensuring roles were evaluated correctly, and definitely wanted to increase trust and have our employees see this as an impartial review. So our grounds for appeals centered around compensation, classification, or both, and what that looks like is they may have thought or believe that there was inaccurate job data, incorrect classification, compensation issues, pay grade discrepancies, or need for changes in duties. So the process began, we sent out a notice to all staff around December the 26th of last year and gave them a couple of weeks to submit our appeals form. So they were to complete the form describing what they were appealing and categorizing which of those areas it fit into. So we received, out of a staff of about 193, 94, 41 appeals, and from the following departments: police, fire, city clerk, community and economic development, public works, and health and human services. Some of the complaints kind of landed on differential pay, in which that is more specific to the police department, because the police department works an overnight shift, and there's a shift differential pay had been agreed upon a while back. We had some issues with hourly pay calculations, grade classification, which basically means some people thought that they should have been in a different grade from what was reported back in the market study, and of course, salary adjustments. So our appeals review process began April the 9th ended April the 11th, and the panel consisted of the mayor, the city administrator, the deputy city administrator, myself as the HR director, the appellants department head, and another city department head, which was basically having someone, we kind of paired them up for compatible background. So for public safety, Chief Noble weighed in on his appeals as well as the fire department's appeals and vice versa. Public Works and Community and Economic Development were paired up. The city clerk, Health and Human Services were paired up. So some of the outcome after the review panel went through its process were need for reclassifications, pay adjustments. There were some that we found no justifiable reason to make any changes, and then also changes in job descriptions. And so just as a point of emphasis, any pay adjustments, because our classification and compensation decisions went into effect December the 18th. Anything that we decide upon that requires any pay adjustment would be retroactive back to that day as well. So our next steps, HR plus the executive lead team will finalize the proposed corrective actions. And then we will come before you again for approval on all the proposed corrective actions. And then we're certainly going to get the decisions communicated to the appellants, which would include executing or making those decisions effective where there needs to be changes made. And we're ambitious or hopeful that we'll have this completed by May 14th. So does anyone have any questions?
Are there any questions? If there aren't any questions, then thank you very much. Oh, she's saying thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Hill.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so item 12 is next. Deputy Administrator Baker.
Andrew. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Is it work program?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My purpose here this evening is to talk a little bit about the community work program and to provide you with an update as it relates to the accomplishments that staff has made in moving forward. If you remember, last part of last year, we went through this comprehensive plan update. In earlier years, when cities adopted comprehensive plans, they actually just adopted the plans because they wanted to be able to get federal dollars and state dollars. So typically, those plans just sat on the shelf, and no one did anything with them. So what we've tried to do in this process, at least DCA has now required that communities, jurisdictions, municipalities, that they actually implement a community work program. So when you adopted your comprehensive plan update, this was on the backside of that back part of that particular document. A little background about the community work program. Again, it is required by the Department of Community Affairs. And that community work program has to include a brief description of the activities that the jurisdiction is going to complete, provide a time frame for when that undertaking or that activity will occur, identify the responsible parties that's going to be involved. Sometimes it's multiple parties that's going to work on that particular activity. They're also going to provide for estimated costs. and potential funding sources to complete that. So the community work program really serves as a roadmap to the city. It should be a guide for the staff in terms of what they're going to do. I know staff have day-to-day activities that they're required to do, but what we try to do is to remind them that they have these other items that they had included in the comprehensive plan that we agreed that we were going to do. So those activities are like a roadmap. They are a blueprint of what you guys should also use when you're evaluating what we're requesting, what activities we're trying to fund and we're trying to do, because this is what we told the state that we would do over the next 5 years. In that document, in your comprehensive plan, you will see these tables. And those tables talked about, if you read across the top, it has the area, the LU is the land use, and then it identified projects that we were going to embark upon. And it also said the year that we would try to get those items done, 24, 25, 26, and so forth. It identified, and again, these were guesstimates of how much it would cost to do it, and it tried to identify some potential funding sources. So what I have and what you have in your packet actually are some ideas about some of the things we said we were going to do. I will point out that each department head was responsible for filling in information about the status of their project. We haven't had an opportunity to scrub it, to evaluate it, to meet back with the department heads to discuss it, and to expand upon it, if anything that they may have overlooked. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will identify some of them, and just for the public to hear. For instance, on one of them, for LU3, we had identified that we would really do a master plan for Blacksville community. And so part of that is going to require a survey of the structures and so forth. But in moving that forward, we have applied for a grant with the Atlanta Regional Commission. And we have had meetings, and I think our application piqued their interest. The citizens came in, we had a Zoom meeting, we talked to them, we convinced them, we tried to persuade them that this was the right location to choose to give the grant funds to. And so we're expecting to hear from the Atlanta Regional Commission in June of this year about the potential of working with the Blacksville community in doing something in that particular area. One of the other things that's listed there is assess the viability of creating a heritage district. Again, we talked about things that we've heard the community and you say you wanted us to do, and we've codified it and you adopted it. And so we've stated that we have an intent to do it. And so at this particular time, staff has identified that a survey of historic structures need to be done with DCA. The next grant cycle is in early 2026, and a survey needs completed before the boundaries are finished and so forth. So staff, community development staff is working toward that, and the next item, similar work is being done. So we'll be able to look at each one of the items that we stated that we were going to work on and try to make sure that staff is making progress in getting those things done. Some of the other things that's listed, for instance, on number 10, talks about maintaining a cultural and historical integrity of the downtown square. So again, the comments that have been made in public comments and so forth, we've identified those in the plan, and so we haven't lost sight of those things. So the bespoke plan that was just mentioned earlier is our attempt to maintain the cultural and historic integrity of the downtown square. So these are the things that we've written and identified that we're going to attempt to do, and so they're codified and adopted by this board. Some of the other items, again, just to highlight, deals with revising the zoning code and development ordinances. As you are aware, you approved the zoning code Title 17 by Mayor and Council back in January of 2025. So that's one of the things that we said we were going to do, and you're working with you and staff, we've been able to do that. Some of the other chapters, 15 and 16, are on schedule with the Community Development Department to work on those and bring those back before you at some point. 17, for instance, talks about establishing an active living design community program with which was mentioned in your 2004 LCI. We haven't went through the process with ARC to designate a particular area as an area for aging in place and so forth. But every time a developer come in and talks with the community development department, we actually talk to them about the need and the desire to have affordable housing or have senior housing or have assisted living housing or all adult communities. And this has actually been evident because you recently approved Wade Farms project and made it 55 and older. It's also part of, I think it was the Dominion project, where you encouraged that development to also provide for senior housing as well. So even though we don't have a recognized area for aging in place, we actually have been trying to make that happen without officially adopting a program, and we still have an opportunity to do that. LU 18 talks about establishing boundaries with Main Street, and a historic district and so forth. So I've started or attempting to go to some of the Main Street Board meetings, and these types of issues have been discussed many times, and the can has been kicked down the road. So what we've tried to do is to establish ad hoc committees where we've asked for each one of the committees that they have on the Main Street Board to work with a liaison with the city staff to come up with solutions to solidify the boundaries of the district, to work on the bylaws, to also work on the historic district or cultural districts, or even the arts district. So we are, again, using this document as a guide for moving forward and doing the activities as requested by this mayor and council. The areas of housing, we've been trying to work on doing some of those things as well. And you can see assessing the zoning districts, which is part of chapter 17, and updating the zoning ordinance for fair housing and so forth. So we're taking steps there. H11, for instance, rehabilitate substandard housing throughout the city. As you are aware, you took part of your ARPA funding at the end of December, and we have went into contract with NC-RAD, which has a citywide housing rehabilitation program that we're trying to address some of the needs, not only in Blacksville, but throughout the city, and making the residents aware that this program exists. Other things, again, that we've identified is, again, looking at ways that we can work with establishing a transit board, for instance, and evaluating that. That was, the discussions are ongoing with Henry County. As you know, they are the transportation arm for the city, and anything that we do should be related and correlated with them. T17 talks about develop a city sidewalk extension program. So again, with your ARPA dollars at the end of last year, you designated funds for us to identify and use Street Scan with Public Works to identify where we're lacking sidewalks. And so we designated funds so that we can go in and inventory the sidewalks and replace them where necessary. Other areas under economic development, again, one of the issues was to evaluate the appropriateness of the hotel-motel moratorium and conducting an impact study. As you know, that moratorium was lifted. We crafted specific details and requirements and regulations within the zoning code update, which starts to address some of those issues that were identified. So this, again, just gives some ideas, whether it's the facade improvements for downtown, strategies to bring retail into the city of McDonough. We're working with the Henry County Development Authority, and they had hired a firm called Retail Strategies. So we're working with them to try to see what are the best fit, or what's the leakage that we have, and what are opportunities for us to bring the specific types of retail establishments to the city. And so it goes on, each one of these into open space, talks about some projects that we've done. You are aware that projects that we should do. And you're aware, again, that using your ARPA dollars, you did set aside some funds for us to do some beautification, for us to do some improvements to some of our parks. And so we will continue to work on trying to make sure that those activities do occur. And so in each one of the areas, they're grouped by parks and open space, but I will move quickly on to public safety. and just highlight a couple of those for you. Under number 2, the plan said that we should prioritize public safety for fire and police department. And so the chiefs provided some information. You know, we created a special service district. We purchased some flock cameras. We've did some things related to fire safety education. We've done child safety car seats donated and installed. We've done smoke and carbon alarms and so forth. And so here are some examples. They put in the NARCOM at the City Hall and different places. But again, these are things that we adopted and we said that we would do over the next 5 years. And so the community work program allows us to look back at what we've done, things that we have not done, and to work with the department heads to make sure that they get them done. But it also sets the way that we will come to you and ask for money related to the budget, to say this was something that you have adopted as a policy, and this is how we think we can get it done. And so that's the whole purpose of the community work program. So, Mayor, I will not go through any more of these, but again, this is a draft of those that we've received from some of the departments. I will admit that I don't have all the answers to each one of the questions that were provided, because the department heads actually did the filling in of the information. My plan is to meet with each one of the department heads and talk about what they have done, when they're going to complete the task moving forward, just to make sure that we are accountable and we're transparent, which is one of the some of the principles for good governance. And so we want to make sure we provide the services that you expect. So if I'll answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much, Andrew. What questions do you have? Councilwoman Thomas.
Yes, going back to the parks, we had some concerns about pickleball in our parks. Are you familiar with the areas that with the parks that we've designated to have those pickleballs in?
I'm familiar that Richard Craig is primarily the one that I'm hearing the most interest in. And so part of what we're needing to do is, again, look deeply into the service delivery strategy, which was our agreement with Henry County. And we need to meet with the county staff to determine what it is that they have planned to do in terms of improvements to that park, and make sure that they're aware that in this community there's a desire to have those improvements, because this is where we want to have a lot of our pickleball activities. So my goal is to get the information that they just wrote down from the members from the public that want to be involved, have a conversation with them and see what the need is and how we can meet the need, and then get with the city administrator as well as Henry County, and get with the city attorney to look at that service delivery strategy to see what direction this board should go in terms of either taking those parks in and making those improvements ourselves, or making sure that Henry County knows that that's a priority to this community, and we would like to have pickleball improvements and enhancements for that park.
Have we looked at any of the other parks for pickleball?
We have not, that I'm aware of. And we're open to suggestions, again, based on the demand and need for pickleball parks, and to identify which other parks we might want to enhance to do that. One of the things we did approve was to go forward with a parks master plan. And so that parks master plan would actually put out there on the street that we're looking for someone to come in and do an assessment of all our parks. And they will probably, based on the age, based on the demand, and so forth, tell us that we need this type of park or facility or activity based on our population and our demographics.
And so have we initiated that?
We have not. We have gotten it approved, and we've developed a draft RFP. So we need to get it on the street, and we need to get those vendors that do that type of work to submit a proposal, and then we would have to review those and select the vendor.
Okay, so in the meantime, are we doing anything with making any changes to our parks?
In the meantime, In the meantime, as it relates to pickleball, again, I would recommend that we sit down with those citizens that would like to have it in Richards Craig's, and then have a conversation with Henry County and evaluate the service delivery strategy and come up with a plan, and even if it takes us putting in some SPLOST dollars or something, I don't know, to make the improvements at that particular park to start off Richard Craig. But I'm open to any suggestions you guys may have.
Well, I'm suggesting that we look at other parks and not just concentrate on Richard Craig.
Right.
So if I can interject here, so Councilwoman, one of the reasons why we did that Parks Master Plan is so that an adequate assessment can be made. We've got several parks, but keep in mind that what determines whether or not a park is passive or active is whether or not there's an active sports. So let's just say somebody wanted to put it in a park that's currently a passive park, then that would convert that park into an active park, which means that we're no longer doing the programming.
Right, and I think again that the expert in the field would be those people that come in or respond to our RFP, and they would do an assessment based again on the population. If we were a community that was aging, then they would look for a lot more activities for seniors and so forth. If it turns out that we have a bunch of kids and so forth, then they're going to start recommending more of the basketball and other things for kids. So it all comes out of that firm that we may hire to do that assessment and give us a parks master plan.
Other questions? No other questions. Okay, thank you very much, Deputy Administrator. I think the takeaway, other than the information, is the fact that we call for the community to come out and to participate in our comprehensive plan. We came up with a plan. We implemented that plan. We're following up on that plan. And so we've gotten documentation today to prove that what we said we were going to do is in fact what we are doing. So I think that is worthy of celebration. And if you don't track a plan, is just a dust catcher. So I'm really proud of the work that we are doing here at the City of McDonough. Okay. So we now have item 13, which are our nominations for Planning Commission. And Councilmember Burt, do you have your nomination?
I do. He is Mr. Mark Thomas of Wesley Lakes.
Councilmember Reeves?
My nomination is for Tara Castora.
Board of Zoning Appeals, Mayor Pro Tem Varner. I don't have a name. My nomination for the Planning Commission is Ms. Lois Ward. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you all for that. We'll move down to item 14, which is executive session, and I would like to ask for a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of litigation, real estate, and personnel.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Thomas and a second by Councilmember Burt. Please vote.
6 in favor.
Thank you very much. We shall return. Y'all might want that. Who after? I'd like to see you after. Okay. All right,
Stewart and Mr. Reeves is still missing as well.
all right, may I have a motion to reconvene, please?
So moved.
Second.
Please vote.
Five in favor.
Thank you so much. We are now on item 15, as we do not have anything to report out of executive session. We'll start with District 1, Councilmember Stewart.
No report.
Thank you. District 2, Councilmember Byrd.
Georgia Cities Week was nice for the parts that I participated in. Being here with the citizens and stuff was a lot of fun on Tuesday, as well as being in was it Alexander Park West was really cool too. Seeing Miss Vanessa Thomas over there and being with the mayor, just chopping it up a little bit was really cool. And good food out there. Please know on June 7th at Alexander Park West in my district, there's going to be a International Gospel Fest, which last year was amazing. So if y'all can, come back out on June 7th at Alexander Park West, please. That's it.
Thank you. District 3, Councilmember Reeves. Councilmember Reeves did have to leave on this evening. Councilmember Varner is not here. At large, Councilmember Payton.
No report.
Thank you. At large, Councilwoman Thomas.
Just want to ask you all to mark your calendars for May 15th. We're having our job fair, which will be held at the Heritage Park Recreation Center, 99 Lakedale Road? Yeah. And also in preparation of the job fair, and this is through the Goodwill Career Center, they're also sponsoring a resume writing skills as well as interviewing skills, and this will be May 6th and 7th at the Goodwill Career Center in Stockbridge.
Thank you so very much. Item 16, approval of the April 3rd City Council workshop minutes. Is there a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Byrd, a second by Councilmember Stewart. Please vote.
I have 4 votes showing. Has everybody voted?
Yeah.
You were not at that meeting.
Yeah.
So 4 in favor, the motion passes.
Thank you very much. Item 17, approval of the April 21st, 2025 City Council meeting minutes. Is there a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Stewart, a second by Councilwoman Thomas. Please vote.
4 in favor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 18. Chief Administrator, do you have any comments?
Mayor, the only thing I'd bring up, I guess, earlier, the email about the Regional Assembly, to make sure everybody did get that email. You had requested that, so that'd be all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. City Clerk?
No comments, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney? Did he leave? Oh,
No,
okay.
he's thinking.
Okay. Well, we're
just
glad,
making sure the
we're
mic is
glad
on.
to have you here tonight. Thank you.
Just making sure the mic is working. No comments from the city attorney.
Thank you so much. I'd like to just give a special shout out on this evening to Southern Grace Hospice, who held a prayer event on today. I know several of our police officers were present, and many of the citizens over in the Lawrenceville Street area. We appreciate the work that they do here in McDonough, Henry County, how they help so many families through very difficult and challenging times, and how they help to sustain and provide comfort for those who are fragile in their end-of-life care. So we really appreciate them, the work that they do. And that is all that I have on this evening. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and we look forward to continuing to serve you all. Meeting adjourned.
All right, y'all. So if you made it to the end, yay! Sometimes even I don't make it to the end of the meeting, so I'll stay and then they go in executive session, and sometimes I leave. But again, I just wanted a quick, simple way to stay informed, engaged, and connected to the community. So again, Montina Young Fraiser, your neighbor. Let's build a better McDonough together.